$4,000, 4,000 euros, £3,749 sterling for those of us in the UK. Whichever way you look at it, that's a lot of money, but it is what you will need if you want a pair of the Meze Elite, the suitably named top-of-the-range headphones from Meze Audio. Now, Meze are of course known for their opulent design along with their top-notch sound engineering. But what do you get for the business end of £4,000? And more importantly, what does it sound like? So first things first, I obviously didn't buy the Elites. They are far above my budget, and I suspect that my wife would have gone bonkers if I'd actually bought them. They were kindly sent to me for review by Meze Audio, and shout out to Razvan from Meze who organised the delivery. The Meze Elite basically come in a suitcase in which the headphones are beautifully protected and nicely presented. You get 2 pairs of ear cups, an angled Alcantara pair, and then a flatter leather pair. Now you can choose what cable you want when you order them. Now I received a 3.5mm terminated cable along with a 4-pin XLR balance cable. Either way, the cable is gorgeous, it's braided, it's heavy duty, it feels solid, and it's got very solid terminations. The headphones themselves are simply stunning in their tungsten colourway, which I have here. From the exquisitely detailed ear cup housings to the simple elegance of the innovative headband design first seen on the Meze Empyrean headphones, this set of cans just oozes quality. Attention to detail in the design is evident everywhere. Meze says that it takes 20 hours to assemble the aluminium frame of each individual pair of Elites, and you really do get a sense of that craftsmanship when you handle them. Comfort-wise, at 425 grams, these are a supremely comfortable set of cans that I managed to wear for hours on end without any undue pressure on the top of my head. The clamp force is just right, and although this pair is not designed to be worn whilst moving around vigorously, I found that they stayed on my head just fine. As far as the 2 different ear cups go, I did prefer the Alcantara ones, mainly from a sound perspective, but also comfort-wise. The leather ear cups mean that the drivers sit slightly nearer to your ears, and that does affect primarily the bass response, as I'll describe in a minute. But before we get on to the listening impressions, I just have to mention the innovative driver technology here. So the Elite is essentially a planar magnetic headphone, just like the humble Sundara. However, this is next level planar technology. Meze have partnered with a Polish company, Rinaro, to engineer what they're calling an isodynamic hybrid array. The actual diaphragm, which is the moving bit that moves within the magnetic field and produces the sound, is made out of a very light polymer which they call Paris. On this Paris diaphragm we get the hybrid voice coil array. This comprises the switchback shaped coil and a spiral shaped coil. Now Meze says that this helps eliminate the problem of different frequencies resonating around the ear, resulting in a cleaner, more cohesive and detailed sound. Planar magnetic headphones are notoriously difficult to drive, but the Elites are not. They're rated at 32 ohms impedance and have a sensitivity of around 100 decibels, which is much higher than something like the Sundara. And what this means essentially is that you don't need a massive powerful amplifier to get the best out of them. Now I have to preface my listening impressions by saying that I don't have anything else in the price range of the Elites to compare them to at home. Apart from listening to some really terrific high-end headphones at Headfi meetups, CanJam and the like, I haven't had a similarly priced pair at hand to A/B test the Elites against. But let me just say, they sound astonishing. I'd use words like smooth, sumptuous, detailed, rich and balanced, which almost gives the music a 3D organic quality that makes it feel that quite often you are right there in the middle of the mix. Let's talk some technicalities first. These are an incredibly natural sounding pair of headphones, with instrument timbre sounding exactly as it should. Yo-Yo Ma's cello on the classic '83 recording of Bach's unaccompanied cello suites sounds almost alive and holographic. the shifts in tone and nuance throughout the Suite number 1 in G major is just astonishing. And by the time he works his way up towards the higher register of the instrument, towards the end of the prelude, it's almost like he is right there in front of you, playing in your front room. The detail that you can hear is remarkable, and certainly nothing that I've ever experienced before in headphones. The dynamics are stunning too. So on the 30th anniversary reissue of In Utero, Nirvana's final album, Penny Royalty really jolts from Kurt's quietly strummed verse into the full force of the chorus, really magnificently. When the overdriven guitar enters the mix, it makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. But if you change track to Milk It, one of the rawest and most aggressive cuts on the album, and Dave Grohl's spine-snapping percussion is delivered in all its brutal glory. But harsh as Kurt's vocal is on that track, Milk It, the Elite delivers it smoothly, perhaps just smoothing over a couple of the rough edges of Steve Albini's punk-focused production. It's still plenty lively, but I suspect that some might want more of a visceral feel to music like that. But on the flip side, the Elite's ability to present music in such a smooth and open way means that they are just so good with a wide range of musical genre. They're every bit as good with classical as they are with rock and electronica. These are brilliant all-rounders, and there's nothing in your music catalogue that you won't enjoy through the Elites. The one thing that really stood out to me in terms of technicalities was their soundstage. The soundstage sounds really immense whilst remaining intimate when it needs to. And the imaging is laser sharp. You can really pinpoint instruments in the mix. The frequency response is just so nicely balanced across the wideband range. I'd characterize it as perhaps slightly warm neutral with a very slightly recessed treble, although there's plenty of detail in that treble. They're not the most sub-focused, rumbly headphones I've heard, but it's more than enough bass for me, and it's presented tastefully. Interestingly, the leather pads just tone the bass down a little bit, making the Elite sound just that little bit less warm. But personally, I like the bass response using the Alcantara pads. The mids are clear and as near as neutral as I've heard. They sound so natural that there doesn't appear to be any emphasis of any one part of the mid-range, which means that the sound is just cohesive and pretty transparent. The treble does sound airy and supplies more than enough energy and sizzled cymbals and hi-hats, but it perhaps isn't as forward as other cans. Maybe something like the Susvaras might have a little bit more treble presence, but again, don't take my word for it, as I don't have them to compare side by side. In terms of vocals, both male and female vocals sound terrific. I listened to Casey Musgrave's Golden Hour album, another great album from start to finish. The Elite's delivering her crystal-cut melodic vocal with no distortion and in a non-fatiguing way. If you switch over to the gravelly Lennon-esque vocals of Liam Gallagher on Scorpio Rising by Death in Vegas, and the Elites deliver the requisite amount of grit and bite. So quite honestly, I've never heard music sound this good before. I doubt I'd ever actually spend £4,000 myself on a pair of headphones. But this is as convincing an argument as any for me to consider risking the wrath of Mrs. Audio Geek and buying a pair. The fit and finish, the sound quality, it all combines to make this a pair of cans that feel worth every one of those £3,749. So in summary, wow, easy winners of the Audio Fixation Gold Award. I've just loved listening to these, and if you are lucky enough to be able to afford a pair, you will absolutely love them. But guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you found that interesting. Let me know what you think. As always, it's great to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.